If you like classic weird animatronic rides, Monster Mansion at Six Flags Over Georgia is heaven. This ride is packed with so many animatronics, it's impossible to keep track of them all. But that's exactly what I'm trying to do today. Yeah, I'm doing the completely normal thing of ranking every Monster Mansion character, no matter how small, well, except for this pair of ping pong eyeballs, oh, and the Bullfrog Bayou review cast since they're more of an Easter egg. But this is my ranking of more than 100 one-of-a-kind monsters. The only disclaimer I'll give is this is all obviously just personal opinion and not that serious. Really, it's just an excuse for me to talk about these delightful freaks even more. And the placement, I mostly went with first thought, best thought. This is not an overanalyzed, fine-tuned list. Plus, I like a lot of the obscure monsters, so there's a good chance your favorite character won't be in the top 10. Oh, and as we go through all the characters, let me know down in the comments which is your favorite monster. Alright, let's have some fun. We have more than 100 monsters to get through, so here we go. This is a ranking of every monster in Monster Mansion at Six Flags Over Georgia. The unfortunate part of this kind of format is someone has to go last. I don't want to do that because I love all the monsters dearly. This is tougher than a parent choosing their favorite child. There's no quote-unquote worst monster, except for this guy. This heinous, grinning monster is stealing a lick of another's ice cream cone. That is messed up and plain evil on so many levels. It honestly makes him worse than all those nasty marsh monsters. For that, he's going straight to the bottom of the list, which is number 107 if we're keeping count. And yeah, we're keeping count. Sorry bud, but hey, at least you're front and center on the merch. Number 106 is a cool little character and ironically is on some merch too. But if I'm being honest, I don't trust the guy. That's the Flasher monster showing off his Monster Power t-shirt. I'm not sure I want to know what he's doing on the outskirts of the picnic. I'm sure he means well, but he gets an award for the weirdest monster, which is saying a lot. Up next is Albert, the little monster playing Hit the Human. He's enjoying that game a little too much, so I have to stand up for my fellow humans and rank him at 105. So for the most part on this list, I won't repeat characters that show up multiple times throughout the ride. For example, the Lagoon Goons have 2 appearances, but I'll only rank them once. The exception to that rule is Marshal Billy Bob Fritter's snappy little sidekick, Fritterbitter. This character looks so different in its 2 appearances, so he's getting 2 spots. And yep, Fritterbitter is coming in at number 104, specifically the first Fritterbitter. This version of the little peppy puppy has an odd design that I can't say is my favorite, but also, he's really not pleased to see us humans. His aggressive eyebrows are cool, but I don't need the attitude. Now I see why he's named Fritterbitter. What a bitter little thing. This might be the most vicious monster in the ride. Thankfully, Billy Bob has a firm grip on that leash. To close out the 103 and 102 spots are the monster photographers, Paparazzi and Nestor. I have nothing against them, they're fun, but I don't like having my picture taken. Simple as that. At 101, I'll mention this bird that used to perch in the ride. It's not around anymore, but some people theorize the figure was repurposed for Nestor. Anyway, it's worth a shout out. We have 3 characters in the next few spots. Numbers 100, 99, and 98 go to these bullfrog babies, Splish, Splash, and Squirt, who are floating on jets of water. Nothing against them, but there are more interesting characters in the ride. We'll get a few more out of the way. At number 97 and 96 will be these 2 cheerleaders in the carnival area. To me, their design looks a little out of place. Maybe it's because they don't have noses or don't really have fur like the other monsters, but they're still cute. They're kind of like living pom-poms. The one on the right is wearing a birthday girl ribbon, so she can be number 96 on her special day. Back to the bullfrogs, next up are Rip It, Bull, and Croak, the figures spouting water over the ride path. It is a wonderful feature that adds a lot of life to the first picnic scene, but as characters, I'll put this trio at 95, 94, and 93. Number 92 is probably a good spot for Colonel Beauregard Mad Dog Powell. He's not exactly a monster, but this talking headstone is one of the best features in one of the ride's best scenes. The animation shop did a great job giving the figure a stone-like appearance with felt so it could still move. Also, I just think it's funny he's forced to spend eternity right outside of Monster Marsh. Landing at number 91 is this little monster cheerleader lifted in the air. She's doing a little trick, so she definitely gets bonus points for that. And she has a cool hairdo with movement. I'll put this flock of feathered monsters at 90, 89, and 88. These wacky birds nesting in the corner of the first picnic scene are kind of dopey with their big bills, the long neck, and googly eyes. Also, they have some fun, catchy audio as your boat passes by. Number 87 is the newest character in the mansion, at least for now, and that's the bathtub monster in the first scene. I appreciate the work the team went through to include this monster, and the clawfoot bathtub is a nice touch. Plus, at least we know this monster is hygienic, which I can't say with confidence about the others. I'm not so sure some of those marsh monsters have ever owned a bar of soap.
This guy stinks!
Coming in at number 86 is the band leader of the Lagoon Goons. He's a sharp dresser just like the rest of the band and is probably a great musician, but he kind of feels like a personality hire. All he's doing is shaking a maraca and lending his tongue as a string bass. Granted, that's more than I'm doing, so I'm not mad at it. Maybe he's a great songwriter behind the scenes, but on stage, he's more or less a cool guy with a tambourine. I guess that's more than I could say about myself, but you gotta do more than that to be the number one Monster Mansion monster. I say all that as a huge Lagoon Goons fan. Let's keep it moving with number 85, Etheline, the mother who comforts her trembling child. She's doing her best and I'm rooting for her. Shout out to all the moms out there. We need more Ethelines in the world. Stuck at number 84 is this little monster putting in the effort to push an overloaded motorcycle out of the mud. Something tells me that's not going to work, but I applaud the effort. There's still one more cheerleader, and that's the big monster on campus, the number 83 monster. Just look at those muscles and that mohawk. The big fella needs a new pair of shoes though, something that'll fit those big meaty claws. Nice antennas too. The number 82 spot belongs to this little curious kid snout to snout with a gopher. With his tail wiggling like that, you just know he's enjoying the monster picnic. You're going places, kid. Stay curious, you cutie patootie. For numbers 81, 80, and 79, we're finally going into the marsh. By my count, this legendary scene has 3 swamp searchers. 1, 2, 3. These prickly reptilian monsters scour the marsh with a torch in one hand and a weapon in the other. I've got a bad feeling about them. Sticking in the marsh for number 78, this greedy little monster named Why Not is next on the list, because why not? Just don't leave this one alone with your wallet. Let's take a break from the marsh for numbers 77 and 76, the brat babies floating from balloons and holding the welcome banner. They kind of have droopy eyelids like they're ready for a nap, so I hope they're not stuck up there against their will. And in case you're curious, here are their diapers. Sneaking in at number 75 is another greedy marsh monster, Zazratch. This axe-wielding goblin is so lost in the sauce, he has a goblet on as a hat. Popping up at number 74 is the gopher mentioned earlier. No, it's not a monster, but it is adorable. That character poking up from the ground deserves more appreciation. Nearby are number 73 and 72, these little monster kids playing atop a hill. I don't know their names, but I've heard this hill called Jack and Jill Hill, so let's call them Jack and Jill. Those might be their names anyway. I love Jill putting Jack in his place with that picnic basket, and honestly, he probably deserved it. Anytime I see those pizza boxes, I for some reason imagine the most satisfying, delicious pizza ever inside. By the way, what kind of toppings do you think monsters put on their pizza? Sprinkles? Cotton candy? Bubblegum? Noodles? I'm not done with these greedy marsh monsters yet. At number 71 is Drad Dog, the dome-headed one in the middle. Something about him makes me laugh. Like, ooh, grr, you're so tough, little buddy. Yeah, you're one real tough cookie. Meanwhile, he's not scaring anyone. The number 70 spot belongs to this friendly motorcyclist, Otto. He has on quite the helmet to show off to his biker buddies, but deep down, we all know he's a sweetheart. At the number 69 spot, I'm choosing this nice monster holding an ice cream cone because that's what I'd be doing at a monster picnic, except I wouldn't let that ice cream cone out of my sight. I feel bad for him, but it's partially his fault. Be more careful next time, sport. Still, I'm not blaming him. The one stealing the lick is the biggest jerk out there. We have a big group of 7 monster scouts taking up the number 68 through 62 spots. These pranksters are in the first picnic scene goofing off. 3 of them are stacked up to hunt bees, and across the way more scouts are catching a butterfly, sticking a dynamite in another's shorts, as well as one actually being a good noodle and behaving. But wait, I just said a group of 7. That was only 6. Well, there was one trapped in a net where the butterfly is today. That figure was removed years ago, but the animation shop has been on a roll recently plussing up Monster Mansion. Who knows if this little scout will return someday? Maybe. Just to be clear, that's based on no insider knowledge whatsoever, just wishful thinking, speculation. Also, honorable mention to the bees. Next to the scouts is number 61, the monster kid playing ring toss on a 4-legged monster. He is cute, but we'll talk about this scene later. Let's move on for now. For number 60, how about this kid looking in a barrel of apples? He has cute polka dotted fur and a snazzy little hat. What's not to love? Claiming a spot at number 59 is this small firefighter monster who's ready to extinguish the flames in the mouth of the chili cook-off judge. I have a lot of questions. Was he waiting there just in case the judge took a spicy bite? Is that why they set up by a fire hydrant? Did he have to change into a firefighter outfit once he realized the judge's mouth was on fire? Or maybe he's the one behind it. Did he sabotage the chili by making it too spicy and flammable? Much to think about. At number 58 is this monster tossing horseshoes. I think someone mentioned this to me, but I don't know who to credit. He kind of looks like Little Critter from those old children's books. Neat guy. Time to head back into the marsh. The final greedy monster, Nero, takes the number 57 spot. Nero is not a monster you want to mess with. This pop-eyed, chompy, horn-headed ogre really isn't too happy to see us humans. Though he might be all bark and no bite because I don't see a tooth in sight. Let's give the musicians some appreciation for number 56, which goes to this short horn player in the Lagoon Goons. I've seen him named as Bladder Blower, which is a name I don't love, but it's such a fun character design in both its appearances. It looks like his mouth doubles as a trumpet, which is probably a neat party trick. There are a lot more marsh monsters to cover, so here are the swamp rats coming in at number 55, 54, and 53. These snouty varmints with twiggy hands are kind of like the swamp searchers from earlier, but they have a less cartoony design and are actually pretty creepy in that dark marsh. The colors on them look excellent in the dim blacklight too. Holding down the number 52 spot is Dumpling, the big passenger weighing down the back of this motorcycle. Dumpling doesn't deserve to be humiliated in front of everyone like that. I hope their day turns around or at least get out of the mud. At number 51, I'm choosing this big-mouthed monster bobbing for apples. Just wonder, if they didn't have a mouthful of apples, what would that big mouth be used for? Gossip? Motivational quotes? Beautiful singing? We'll never know. I like these spinning straws that give the illusion that water is pouring out of its mouth. A nice touch. And is that a little bonnet atop its head? Before we go through the top 50, don't forget to let me know who your favorite monster is. And also, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It really does help out. Up next is this fiddler to take the number 50 spot. No, that's not Cousin It. That's the best fiddler around wearing one heck of a cowboy hat. The piece of straw coming out of just a patch of fur is too funny. Perched at number 49 is this Garner Holt bird animatronic. I don't have too much to say about it other than I just think it's neat. Number 48 goes to the monster playing the High Striker game. This might be the most bizarre creature in the entire ride. A lot of the other monsters have some sort of recognizable form to them. They might resemble dogs or dragons, but this one looks like a droopy wet sock. I love it for that. And is that a Shaka sign? Aloha, my dude. What a weirdo, and I mean that as a compliment. Number 47 will go to another musician, the banjo player. I've never seen a more relaxed, confident fella. This monster is in his element, picking that banjo. What kind of monster tries to swallow a whole pie all at once? That'd be the number 46 monster, Burnnoggle. I know it's a pie eating contest, but chill, it's all yours. Does anyone know CPR? Is there a doctor in the house? Oh, right. The monster bobbing for apples must have kept them all away.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Swinging into number 45 is the big yellow Lagoon Goon. I think he's playing his nose, which is some sort of clarinet or woodwind instrument. His cheeks puff up and his fingers wiggle like he's playing. It's really nicely animated. Plus, I like the sweet shades and the tiny hat. Every other band member has a hat that fits, but of course the biggest one has a teeny hat on top of its pinhead. Also, his belly doubles as a bass drum. By the way, I just rewrote Monster Mansion after writing this script, and I think I put this monster way too low on the list. This is such a great animatronic. He definitely deserves at least top 20, but I already recorded everything else, so let's keep it moving. The next spots go to a pair of marsh monsters, the trees. The one on the left, I'll put that tree eater at number 44. It kind of looks like it just banged its toe and is reaching out in pain. The one on the right, going at number 43, looks like a kooky old grandpa with plenty of shaggy dog stories. The stubby branch reaching out from its side gives me the heebie-jeebies. That last stretch of the marsh is probably my favorite part, and these two weirdos are a big reason why. Number 42 seems like a good spot for the bottle baby in the first picnic scene. It's in an old rocking stroller and has that neat bubbling effect the animation shop has working nicely now. Gliding in at number 41 is the crow in the graveyard scene. Yes, this is another non-monster character, but it has such a cute, cartoony look. The graveyard scene is so short yet has so much going on, and the crow is a nice touch. At the number 40 spot is a character with 2 appearances, Tatty 2. This little pup is the first one to warn us about that scary old marsh. Billy Bob Fritter gets a lot of credit for that, but Tatty 2 is looking out for us just as much. As an odd side note, making this video made me realize how many of the monsters have little bird feet. No toe beans on Tatty 2, just blue bird feet. Listen up, Big Bertha is number 39. Big Bertha is a great character, but she's not the best coach around. She's the one responsible for all the scouts, and things are a little out of control with them. I love the mayhem, and that lipstick smeared on her beak, yeah, this character has a fun design. I aspire to be as unbothered as the number 38 monster, Buster. No fishing? No problem. A little rule never stopped Buster from having a little fun. For number 37, how about the nanny monster? She has a nice British nanny Mary Poppins style getup on that looks fantastic. Her movement is some of the best in the ride. She has a lot of smooth animations, including expressive eyelids and eyebrows. Bonus points as she sings a song from Bullfrog Bayou Review. Up next at number 36 is the string bassist in the country band. This ride has a funny habit of making the smallest monsters play the bass. Just look at Chick and the Lagoon Goons. This one in the country band is all tangled up in the strings though. She's definitely caught up in the music.
Oh, brother!
Don't be frightened, child, it's just Toonie at the number 35 spot. The trembling motion on this scared monster is too cute. The number 34 monster is going to be a very controversial one. I'll just get it out of the way. I put Mizzy Scarlet at number 34.
This guy stinks!
Mizzy is one of the most famous characters on the ride, if not the most famous. But famous for me doesn't mean best. They can't all be top 10. She has 2 appearances, and they're both among the largest and most impressive animatronics in the whole ride. But for some reason, I don't fully vibe with her character. I should be a bigger Mizzy fan because she's the head of the hospitality committee that invited humans to the monster picnic. So none of this would happen if it weren't for her. She also kind of reminds me of Magdoll from E.T. Adventure in a way, so that should count for something. Mizzy is always stylish and so welcoming, but she's a little overbearing. I just kinda say thanks for the invite and hurry to the real party. While I'm on a roll with controversial picks, this list wouldn't be complete without the projected face going into the marsh. It gets the number 33 spot. Yes, I just put a disembodied spirit ahead of one of the ride's most iconic characters. I warned you this list was kind of obscure. I'm not sure if other fans consider this face as a monster, but I'm putting it at number 33 to give it the appreciation it deserves. I think any list that leaves it off is not a complete list. This moment is what starts all the chaos as it lures the boats into the marsh. Isn't that what this ride is known for? The jack-o'-lantern face has a bit of a Peter Lorre type of voice that fits the ride well. It's such a great moment as we click up the lift hill through the fog. Back on beat with the Lagoon Goons, I'm choosing the drummer monster as my number 32 pick for no other reason than I like how he's holding the tempo down. That fella can groove. Speaking of monsters with rhythm, next up are the Square Dancing Kids at number 31 and 30. These animatronics have a story as they were in the original version of the ride, were removed, and made their big return this year after being completely fabricated from scratch. They look fantastic, and the ride is more complete with those little monster toes a-tappin'. Here come another group of monsters to take the number 29, 28, and 27 spots, the swinging monsters in the first picnic scene. I gotta admire the strength of the elder monster swinging from the tree branch, because there's no way I could do that for more than 5 seconds, especially with 2 Rugrats on me. I like how the kid on the tail is having the time of their life, and the one on the lap is hanging on for dear life. The swinging motion adds a lot to the commotion in that scene. Plopped at number 26 is the big diaper baby near the nanny monster. This thing is so funny because it's among the bigger monsters, but isn't even potty trained. It looks like it can arm wrestle the big monster on campus and win. Meanwhile, it's wearing a California king-sized bed sheet as a diaper. This baby has completely outgrown the carriage, yet still wears a silly pinwheel hat. Blazing into the top 25 is Spurgeon, the judge from the Chili Cook-Off. This moment is such a Looney Tunes type of gag, and the lighting effect in his mouth is really nice. I wonder if that spicy chili ended up winning the contest. Do monsters like their chili flaming hot? After he put out the fire, did he slam his fist down and go, "Now that's chili"? Swooping in at number 24 is the legendary marsh bird that used to fly in the dark for a brief moment in history. This bird has long since been removed, but it is such an unknown yet famous figure among Monster Mansion fans. It's cool on its own, but the mysteries behind it put it high on this list. Maybe it'll return like the dancing monsters did. Ding ding ding, at number 23 is the High Striker Bell. Not the monster playing the game, but the one who is the game. Poor little fella has gone through the ringer.
This guy stinks.
Slithering into the number 22 spot is the Swamp Serpent. This is such an eerie part of the marsh, kind of like a jump scare with the lighting and movements. The character has a great spooky design. It's one of the best marsh monsters in my book. A Lagoon Goon is taking the number 21 spot, and that's Chick, the bassist. This guy is a real musician, being able to play the bass from a tongue. By the way, Chick used to have white fur or feathers, however you see it, but has been updated to red because it's easier to keep clean in the ride's damp environment. And look at his little tail matching the striped uniform. Ringing in at number 20 is the dragon being used for a game of horseshoes. He's definitely a little loopy from being hit with all those horseshoes. This animatronic has a lot of moving parts. It's hard not to appreciate that. Up next is another one of the ride's most famous moments. At number 19 is the Gangenbacher, the giant ogre in the marsh that calls out, I think this might be the largest full-figured monster in the ride, excluding the Boat Eater. That alone makes him one of the best. He gets a lot of attention, rightfully so. Most other lists would probably rank him in the top 10, but for the sake of variety, I'm saving some of those spots for lesser appreciated monsters. Nothing but love for the Gangenbacher. Staying in the marsh, number 18 goes to this turtle-faced tree stump. This is another one that shouts out, but it doesn't get the appreciation it deserves. It's so hidden in the shadows of the marsh, but it looks like it has achieved inner peace or has a lot of wisdom to share. I would go to this stumpy tree eater for life advice anytime. And that little animated twig arm reaching out, yeah, this tree eater is somehow spooky and wholesome. I'm not sure if Gippy here won the pie eating contest, but this little monster won the number 17 spot. Gippy looks like they're wearing more of the pie than eating it, even having strawberries on top of their head. That's one way to do it. And look at those sticky fingers. Gippy might not be the best competitive pie eater, but I'm a fan. The number 16 and 15 spots will go to two of the smallest creatures in the ride, the pipe monsters in the marsh. It took me so many rides to realize these monsters even existed, and it took me many more rides to realize there were two, one on the left and one on the right. They're much brighter and visible now than they used to be, so I'm glad more people can actually notice them and appreciate them. I love these little fellas. From the smallest to the largest, number 14 is the boat eater at the end of the ride. It's such a bizarre final scene, and this sight is probably one of the best in the whole ride. The darkness, the eyes, the teeth, the warts in the throat, it's all delightfully scary. And once the animation shop gets the tilt feature back up and running, it'll be better than ever. I embarrassingly didn't realize this next one was a monster until very, very recently. At number 13 is the banjo in the country band. No, not the banjo player, the actual banjo. This is like one of those old Flintstone gags when they use a dinosaur as some sort of household appliance. I'm almost waiting for it to turn to the camera and say, it's a livin'. Its legs are stretched out to make a banjo neck and opening its mouth as a sound hole. Hopefully it doesn't mind getting plucked around. Remember how I ranked Fritterbitter all the way at number 104? That was just the first one. The second Fritterbitter gets redemption, being ranked a lot higher at number 12. This one saves the day by blasting away all the marsh monsters. But the real reason why I have him so high this time is because, well, he's just really cute in this scene. Something about him just chilling on that cannon, the way his soot-covered face is so content. I love this Fritterbitter. Number 11 is kind of in the same style as the banjo. This is the final lagoon goon to be mentioned, Rattle. This poor googly-eyed bird monster is being shaken as long as those lagoon goons are swinging. That's a tough gig. Rattle may not be the most complex figure in the ride, but this little one has earned some recognition, assuming it still has brain cells. We finally made it to the top 10. I'm still sorry about the Mizzy Scarlet placement. Anyway, on to number 10, Thurston Didwitty III. This clumsy gardener waving a garden hose around is such a goof, definitely one of the most memorable characters. Pucker up, at number 9 is the kissing booth monster, Honeysuckle. Honestly, what could I possibly say about her? Her looks say it all. The joke, the beautifully designed kissing booth banner, the nice peppermint patty fur, her placement right where the scene changes. This character is as good as it gets in Monster Mansion. Cheers for numbers 8 and 7, the Fishin' Fools by the Graveyard. They crack me up, like two tipsy uncles who ditch the picnic for a party of their own, completely oblivious to everything around them as we drift into the marsh. Are they even aware humans were invited to the picnic today? Do they know there was a monster picnic in the first place? Or is this just a regular Tuesday for them getting tipsy in an old graveyard? Number 6 is the monster everyone knows and loves, Marshal Billy Bob Fritter. He's such a memorable monster with his big personality and appearing throughout the ride in the most important scenes. He's right there at the beginning of the first picnic scene, right as you enter the marsh, and saving the day at the end. Whenever the story shifts, Billy Bob is right there. If you ask anyone about Monster Mansion, probably one of the first things they'll mention is,
"Stay out of the marsh! Stay out of the marsh! Oh no!"
He is the most quotable monster.
As you travel and float, keep your hands in the boat. Lucky for you guys, I found this here cannon.
Or in the old version of the ride,
Don't you humans ever listen?
and now he's the voice of the safety spiel at the load area. Billy Bob lays down the law, and he is a gem. Monster Mansion would not be the same without him. Objectively, he's probably number 1, but this is my list, so let's figure out who's in the top 5. Rolling in at number 5 is without a doubt the coolest guy at the picnic, the skateboarding monster. He used to have a shirt with the word Zoomer embroidered on it, so that's what I'll call him, Zoomer. He's skating laps around the big monster on campus with so much style and grace. I hope I'm as cool as Zoomer when I grow up. We're headed back into the marsh for number 4, the E-Ratigator. I've seen this called the E-Ratigator, the Rat-E-Gator, which I think is its best name, and a few others, but that's besides the point. To me, this massive top-heavy rat character has the best design in the marsh. The way it emerges from the swamp, water dripping from its snout, eyes glowing red, the rumbling subwoofer that can be heard all the way by Goliath, this is a peak moment in the marsh. Just making it into the top 3 is the ride's official, unofficial mascot, Busby. This cute green dragon-like character appears twice in the ride, once toward the beginning and another time at the end. The two figures are quite different as one flies over the picnic scene and the second waves goodbye. In both appearances, Busby looks so friendly and huggable. Look how soft his fur looks. I'm not sure why he's wearing essentially the same outfit as the Lagoon Goons, but he's a sharp dresser nonetheless and is an adorable monster. I can't think of a better monster to be front and center on the sign than this little fella. Back into the marsh one more time for the penultimate monster, Boggy Boy. In my opinion, this figure is elite. It's kind of tucked away in the far side of the marsh, but it has such a menacing presence. Just look at that orange glow making that jack-o'-lantern effect, the beams of light as angry eyebrows through the thick fog. That intimidating ambience adds so much to the marsh. This is where things get really tense. The character is actually on a lift that pops up as you pass by, kind of like a jump scare. I can't think of another monster who has a more dramatic entrance. But I want to know more about this character. Who is Boggy Boy? Maybe he's a grandkid of that kooky monster tree. He's heard all the weird stories, which might explain why he's so grumpy or why he's so adamant that we get out of the marsh. Maybe he's trying to protect us, like, hey, don't go that way, he'll tell you all about that time he got banned from Denny's. Next time you're in the marsh, keep an eye out for Boggy Boy. We're finally here. Out of 107 monsters, this is the one that takes the top spot for me. Rosie, my number 1 monster. This is a character most writers might not think much of, but I think she's the most subtly creative monster in the ride. She's sniffing a little flower, which is also an animatronic, and the petals sway inward as she inhales. It's a detail that won't grab everyone's attention, but it's cute once you notice. As of this year, she's looking better than ever with fresh fur and spots, flowers to match, as well as a perfect spotlight that makes her shine. It's a picturesque scene. Just look at that smile, pure bliss. And to the monster playing ring toss on Rosie's tail, does that make it ring around the Rosie? What a wonderful monster to round out the list. So now I want to hear from you. Which Monster Mansion monster is your favorite? And did I miss any monsters? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Anyway, thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe here for more videos like this. Stick around next week for my rankings of every animatronic in Navi River Journey. I still can't decide who to put at number 1. But seriously, if you want a closer look at Monster Mansion, be sure to check out the behind the scenes tour I posted on my main channel, Storybook Amusement. Anyway, thank you, and until next time, stay amused.